Hey guys, back again with another video. Might as well just do another collection video. Might as well just do a bunch in a row. This one's maybe a bit weird because my collection's not finished for this. It's obviously going to be finished like years later because this system is still, it's still hugely popular, and that's the Nintendo Switch. And I've got more Switch games than I thought I did, actually, like kind of gathering them all together. Even though I've never considered myself like a massive Switch fan, certainly not to the level that some people are. Mostly because I just don't play it as a handheld. I only do it in TV mode. And if there's ever a game that comes out on like Switch and PS4 or Switch and PS5, even PC in some cases, I'll usually get the other version because the Switch versions of multi-platform games are always just, I mean, they're fine, but in a lot of cases the frame rate is like severely compromised, I guess. So I don't know. I just don't tend to buy a lot of like non-exclusive games for the Switch. But even still, I've got a pretty good library, and there's a lot of good games in here. So I still do really enjoy the Switch. I think there's plenty of great games on it, and if you're a handheld fan and you love playing games handheld, then the Switch is a no-brainer, obviously. But let's dive right into things. Do I want to do like collector's style games first? Yeah, why not? We'll start with the collector's editions that I've got. Okay, so first off, we've got the Fire Emblem Three Houses. What is that? I forget the Seasons of Warfare edition. With the steelbook, art book, soundtrack, CD, calendar. I've got like the steelbook sitting here somewhere as well. But yeah, Fire Emblem, I do tend to like to get the collector's editions just because they've usually got good stuff in them, and they always get way too expensive later. Three Houses, really enjoyed this a lot. Not one of my favorite Fire Emblems. I actually probably preferred even like Awakening and like the Birthright, Conquest, Revelations trilogy. Fates, yeah, Fates. I actually probably enjoyed those games more than this. The Persona style elements I don't think are a complete home run as far as how it kind of integrates with Fire Emblem, but I still really did enjoy this. It's still a great Fire Emblem game, but I do hope the next one they kind of, I don't know, go back to the old style of Fire Emblem, or at least like the way the 3DS games were. I don't know. I don't think the Persona style elements were a complete success here, but I mean, there's also room for improvement too. I think they could improve upon that stuff. Okay, next up we've got Ring Fit Adventure. Still haven't even actually opened this. I played kind of like demos of this. I've played it at a friend's place. And it's really cool. It's really awesome. It's just, I don't know, I look at it, I'm just like, the time and effort it would take to set this up, I'd rather just play something else. But one of these days, you know what, I do really got to get this going and try to stay consistent with it because I think it could be good for me as well. And it's just, yeah, from what I played, like the whole like adventure mode that this game's got is really cool too. So definitely one of those games that I think most people have on the Switch. I know for a while there it was actually hard to find this game. It was just like sold out everywhere, but now I think you can finally get it again. Another Fire Emblem package here. So we've got the Fire Emblem Man. I forgot, like, this is crazy heavy actually. The 30th anniversary edition. So this is the Shadow Dragon and Blade of Light. Those translated NES. I'm not like the biggest Fire Emblem guy, so I think what Shadow Dragon was like. I can't remember. Was this the first Fire Emblem game, and then it was for the NES, and they did like the DS remake of it. I'm pretty sure. I'm not actually super knowledgeable on that. Blade of Light. I don't know what Blade of Light is. Yeah, you can tell I haven't played these yet, obviously, but it's one of those weird collector's edition where it's like a download code, I think, but there's a lot of like physical goodies in here, and this is just going to be impossible to find later, and it's going to get crazy expensive. So I definitely wanted to have it. It has like a replica like NES cart, I think. That was like one of the cool things with this that made me want to definitely get this game. But I don't know. I'm probably going to keep this kind of unopened. Because also, these games, I don't know if they've removed them yet, but they're on the Nintendo Switch online store, and they're going to remove them. They're like a limited time thing. It's like that Mario collection, which we'll get to that a bit later, which is complete bullshit, by the way. That shit fucking sucks. Really awful that Nintendo does that limited time digital game. Like, come the fuck on. Like, ugh. But anyways, Moving on, we got Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. This is the special edition for this one, Definitive Works set. Geez, what's it got in it? The game, a pretty big art book. Was that it? I guess, yeah, I haven't even opened this yet. Because, like, I played Xenoblade 1 on the Wii for the first time, or at least finished it for the first time very recently, and they announced this version like almost like not even like a couple months after I finished it. I was just like, oh fuck, come on! I if I waited just a little bit longer, I would have been able to play the better Switch version. But fantastic game, man! Xenoblade, amazing. I love all three games in the trilogy. Even though it's not really a trilogy as far as like narrative connections, but first one's definitely my favorite. I really enjoy the first one. So one of these days I'll definitely play that again on the Switch there. We've got Pokemon Let's Go Eevee with the Pokeball here. I know a lot of people shit on this game. I really enjoyed it because it's Pokemon, Blue and Red, my favorite Pokemon game. It was just a super nostalgic game for me. But I really like I don't know, I like Pokemon games where it's like I know all the Pokemon, I know the original 151, and you can actually catch them all in this. It's not like a lot of the recent Pokemon games where there's like 600 Pokemon. You have to go through all these hoops just to get some of the Pokemon and like breed them a certain way, and they have to have certain personality types. And it's just, I don't know, it just gets so convoluted the more Pokemon you have. And it just, a lot of the like recent games have kind of lost that catch 'em all mentality that was kind of exciting with Pokemon to begin with, and this game kind of brought that back for me. Even though the actual like battle system here is very simplistic compared to the actual Pokemon games, but I don't know, I really enjoyed this. I had a great time with it actually, but I know a lot of hardcore Pokemon fans don't really care for those games that much. We've got Octopath Traveler. This is the Wayfarers edition here. I was so pumped for this game when they first showed it. And it ended up being a massive disappointment for me. I really don't care for this game. It looks beautiful, just absolutely amazing artwork. The soundtrack is gorgeous as well. The gameplay just did not do it for me. It's it's by the Bravely Default and Bravely Second guys, but it's just such a massive regression from that combat. It's crazy. And then you just lose the job system as well, so it's just not as engaging. I didn't think the characters were interesting here. None of the stories were all that interesting either, and like the battles just like kind of went on forever. I got like maybe 20 hours into it and I just kind of gave up. Like it just was not pulling me in. Just really dry, this game. It was a shame. I was really looking forward to this, and it just it just didn't do it for me, unfortunately. But I know a lot of people do still really like that game, Octopath Traveler. Okay, so now we've got Mega Man 11. This is the Amiibo edition, still sealed. Haven't opened this yet. I have played it. I played it on PS4. I had it on PS4. I love it. I'm a huge Mega Man fan, and when they first announced this, I was like, ooh, Capcom has not done an actual Mega Man game for a very long time, so I was a bit hesitant. But yeah, no, they did a far better job than fucking Inafune did with the Mighty Number 9, that pile of shit. This game, way better. Like, they knew what they were doing with this one. Not one of my favorite Mega Mans. Like, it probably ranks in the middle as far as the classic series goes, but honestly, it could have been a lot worse. I think the level design is quite good here. I like some of the additions that they made, and it's challenging. It's got a perfect level of challenge for me, this game. But yeah, no, we really enjoyed it. But since this is got the amiibo in it, I kind of collect amiibo. I've got like tons of like sealed amiibo. I'm gonna probably keep this one sealed and never open it. But it is a great game, definitely. We'll move on to, I guess we're kind of at like the regular edition games now. So we've got Monster Hunter Stories 2. I just recently finished this game. It's solid. It's a solid JRPG. I'm a huge Monster Hunter fan, so obviously I was looking forward to this. But I don't know. It's a 50-hour game that probably only needs to be like 30 hours. It's pretty bloated. I don't think the story really goes anywhere interesting. But I do like the collecting elements, and the battle system is actually really fun and engaging, and it's challenging. This was harder than any Pokemon game I've played in the last like 20 years. So yeah, I did like that about it, but definitely prefer the classic Monster Hunter games, not as opposed to this kind of collecting turn-based RPG. But if you're a fan of Monster Hunter, though, I think there's enough here to enjoy for sure. And that of course leads us to Monster Hunter Rise. Love this game. One of my favorite games of the year. I really love the additions that they made here. The wire bug is just it's almost like revolutionary, almost, at least for the series, as far as like mobility. It's crazy how much it opens mobility for the series. A lot of awesome new monsters in this. Had a lot of fun playing this multiplayer. It looks fantastic and runs really well for a Switch game, which it was really shocking to me, especially considering Monster Hunter Stories 2, the frame rate is actually like really bad. So I don't know what happened between these two. Probably different development studios maybe, but yeah, no, Monster Hunter Rise, fantastic. A nice like exclusive Monster Hunter game on the Switch. Okay, next up we've got, let's see here, Deadly Premonition 2. Was really looking forward to this. I love the original Deadly Premonition. It's, man, what an amazing experience that was. It's a bad game, but like the storytelling in that game and the main character Francis York Morgan and the dialogue and just how fucking weird it was amazing. And this was just an absolute disappointment. The worst frame rate I think I've ever seen in a console game in like years. It just really bad. Like the I don't know, like Francis York Morgan is still a great character. I still think there's a lot of great character stuff with him. But the main storyline here I thought was just like not good at all. And it really does feel like it was like this lightning in a bottle type thing with the original game playing this, where they're chasing for that original experience and trying to be as weird as possible. And it just, I don't know, it just comes across as forced. And then you have like a lot of just like really I don't know, like there's just a lot of stuff with like the writing in this game that I thought was like really off-putting. Yeah, did not care for this like at all, really. Huge disappointment, but I should have expected it. I mean, Deadly Premonition, that's the kind of thing that like everything just combines to make this crazy ass experience that you just usually won't get very often. So I mean, I think I was kind of a fool to expect that Deadly Premonition 2 could live up to that. But anyways, Mario 3D All Stars. I like with that Fire Emblem I was talking about earlier. The physical release of this is a limited time thing. I mean, you can find this like everywhere. It's still pretty readily available. But who knows? Like 3 years from now, when they've stopped making copies of it. Absolute bullshit. It's maybe not as bullshit with a physical copy, but even the digital they're going to be removing, which is like Nintendo, man. Sometimes I just don't get it. I haven't played. I know this is a kind of like a weak port, basically, of these three games. Like they didn't do a whole lot. But I hadn't played Sunshine before, and the GameCube copy is actually more expensive than this. So I figured, I might as well buy this because I've never played Sunshine before. And so I finally played Sunshine on this collection. I haven't played 64 or Galaxy yet on here, but I've played them before. I love them both. But yeah, Sunshine was really fascinating to play through. Shockingly unpolished for a Nintendo game, but still has its charms and still has some good levels in there, but also some really tedious, awful levels. Some good platforming, some annoying platforming. It's inconsistent, Mario Sunshine, but on the whole, I did really enjoy it. It's definitely, though, my least favorite of the 3D Mario games, I would say. We got Katamari Damacy Reroll. It's basically the first game that came out on the PS2, but on Switch. I guess there's new features for the Switch. It says in the back here. I'm not sure. I haven't played this on Switch yet, but I love the first game, so I had to have it on Switch. Katamari is still such a unique experience. The sequels, less so. I do feel like it's like one of those games where it's like, the first game was so focused, and that like I don't really know what you can really do to kind of add to Katamari Damacy to make it better. I mean, going bigger is not really. I don't think it's really the best move for a game like this. So the first one was always my favorite in that regard. So that's why I wanted to get this Switch version. We got Binding of Isaac Plus. This was like one of the earliest Switch games I got. I've never really been able to get into this game. I know this has like a multiplayer, so it's kind of a fun multiplayer game, but on my own it's not that enjoyable, but mostly just because roguelikes aren't really my thing, and there's not enough progression for me to keep myself invested here. But I know a lot of people love this game, like put in like thousands of hours into it, so I did want to get it just to have like something multiplayer on the Switch if I've got friends over. Super Mario Odyssey. Might be my favorite game on the Switch, honestly, still, even after all these years. Loved this game, adored it. Pretty much 100%ed it. The only thing I didn't do was the stupid jump rope mini game in this. It was impossible. I couldn't do it. It's like the only moon in this entire game I didn't get. I could not do it. It was literally too hard for me. Like, it was crazy. But man, just like so much variety to this game. Just so much fun exploring these environments. It's not perfect. I do think because there's so many moons, a lot of them are a little too simple to get. But I don't know. I was just so addicted to this game. I just could not put it down until I basically did everything that I could. And yeah, it's one of my favorite 3D Mario games for sure. But I guess a lot of people shit on this game now. Like, I know a lot of people don't think it's that great, but I don't know. I was never one of those people. I absolutely adore this game. More Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. This is a version of the 3DS game. I haven't really put too much time into this. It's a little hard to go back to something like this when World and Rise have come out. It just feels a little dated, but it's still fun. But I don't know. Yeah, it's a little hard to go back to something like this. But it's Monster Hunter, so it's still good. But I don't know if I'm ever gonna get back to that game. Xenoblade Chronicles 2. This game is oddly kind of getting expensive now. It's above retail price. Like, if you were to buy this game, you're going to actually pay over retail to get it. But I think Nintendo's going to reprint it, and you're going to see the prices go down. I enjoyed it. I definitely think it's the weakest of the Xenoblade games. Yes, I even think Xenoblade X is a much better game than this. It's hard to say why. I don't know. I do like the characters here. I do like the battle system quite a bit. I just think it went a little overboard with the anime stylings in this. It's very tropey in a lot of ways. It is kind of cringeworthy in a lot of the cutscenes and things like that, in a way that the first game never was. And even X had its moments of it, but this goes full crazy with that kind of stuff. But it wasn't like a total deal breaker for me. I still did really enjoy this game. It's got a great world to it. I hated the pathfinding. The pathfinding, I remember, was terrible in this game. Trying to figure out where you were supposed to go at times was a complete hassle, but definitely enjoyed it. Definitely, I think, worth playing if you like RPGs and you have a Switch. Although I think most people have played this already, but I know a lot of people say this is like the best game in the series. I'm just like, yeah, no. No way. Cave Story Plus still sealed. I've played Cave Story before, but I definitely wanted to get it on Switch because this is kind of like pretty much the best version of the game from what I understand. Really, really enjoy this game. The music is just unbelievably good in this game. I do hate the way the true ending works. The true ending is like near impossible. I don't know why anyone does that kind of shit. Just way too difficult to get the true ending in this game. But other than that, though, really, it's a classic game. Really, really do enjoy Cave Story. We got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Pretty much everyone that has a Switch probably has this game. I think the attach rate is absolutely insane for this game. Fantastic. I mean, I loved it on the Wii U. I love it here too with all the extra tracks and characters and everything like that. One of the best multiplayer games on the system. Anytime friends are over and we want to play the Switch, this is usually a game that we'll put on. I've played it online quite a few times. Great, yeah, definitely a recommended game for the Switch. But I'm sure if you have a Switch, you already have this game. Flashback. I don't know why I bought this. It's like a weird, like, I don't know, side-scrolling, almost like adventure game. I think this was on, I can't even remember which consoles this was on. I think it's PC. It was mainly like a PC game. But this has like a cool like Super Nintendo cartridge case inside. That's why I kind of wanted to buy it, but it's still sealed. I don't know. The game doesn't look that appealing to me, but I think this was like super cheap at EB Games. So I was like, why not? Might as well buy that. We got Mario Maker 2. My most played game on the Switch, actually. Probably not my favorite overall, but it's up there for me. Originally, I didn't buy it, but they added an update where they made a World Maker. And that just completely changed this game for me. I made an entire Mario game, basically, with this World Maker update that they did, and it's amazing. Just absolutely incredible. So I put in like 120 hours into this game, making my own Mario game, and it was so satisfying. It was so fun. I've had friends play my entire game, and it's been another joy to watch that. So yeah, I just had a ton of fun with this. I don't think it was that great originally. I think it wasn't enough of an improvement over the first game on the Wii U, but the updates they've made for this have made it a significantly better game. So actually, it's one of my favorite games on the Switch. I really love Mario Maker 2. If you do play that though, and you're planning on making levels, get a capacitive stylus because without it, it's a pain in the ass to make levels with that with the Switch in handheld mode. If you're using like TV mode, it's like impossible to make levels on that game. This is just like the Fire Emblem Steelbook here. I've got it open because this is how I played the game. So I gotta put this back in the actual box there. But cool Steelbook though. Man, it's still a lot to go through, man. I'm surprised how many Switch games I have. Bayonetta 2, a download code of Bayonetta 1 comes in this, or at least it used to. I don't know if they actually still do have that. I think this was only for like the first print of this game. Obviously, one of the many games that's made the transition from Wii U to Switch. Amazing. Just a fantastic character action game. Loved it. I love the length of it. It's like the perfect length. It doesn't overstay its welcome. Fantastic combat. I do think the first game might be slightly better, but still like just an amazing game, especially an amazing package if you got this at launch. Very glad that more people got to play this because the Wii U version, I don't think a lot of people got to play because it was on the Wii U. Fire Emblem Warriors, this is still sealed. I got this for like $10. One of the few Nintendo games that dropped in price like a rock, actually. Looks a little too Muso-like for me, so I'm probably not going to open it. Maybe one day I'll give it a shot, but I guess there's more RPG elements. But I haven't heard this game's that good though, so I don't know. We'll see. Donkey Kong Tropical Free is another Wii U game to the Switch. Glad it happened because this is the best side-scrolling platformer of the past decade. Masterpiece. Retro Studios. It's just unbelievable that they can make the amazing Metroid Prime trilogy, and then make Donkey Kong Country Returns, and then this totally different genre from those games, and they completely nail it. Massive improvement over Returns, in my opinion, as well. Man, the level design in this game is it's masterful. It's just fucking believable. The music from David Wise is just incredible. The vibrant, colorful visuals to it. The challenge level. I love how challenging this game is. It's not a pushover. It's just like so it brings back that classic challenge from the Donkey Kong Country games. It's probably better than all the Super Nintendo games. I love those games as well. If you haven't played this, please, you gotta play it. It's just absolutely wonderful. I'd say it might be the best Switch game if it wasn't already like on the Wii U. I got like a couple limited run games here. Thimbleweed Park. Haven't played this yet. I'll probably play it digitally. I want to keep this one sealed. This one's actually climbing up in price. But a classic point-and-click adventure game from Ron Gilbert. I haven't played it yet, but I've heard good things about it. So maybe one of these days I'll definitely try to play that. A couple others, No More Heroes 1 and 2 limited runs. Again, I think when these eventually come to PS4, I'll play them there. I'll probably keep these Switch ones sealed, but I knew I had to have the limited runs of these. The first game I've played back on the Wii, loved it. The second one didn't like as much, so I'm curious to go back to this one and see what I think. I don't know, it's weird. I actually kind of liked the bad open world of the first game. I think the bosses in this game were more interesting. I don't know, something about the second game just didn't really jive with me for some reason. And I have to wonder because I don't think Suda was the director on this, right? Maybe that had something to do with it. He was a little bit more hands-off for the second one, but definitely want to try it again to see if maybe I was wrong. But No More Heroes 1, though, I loved that game back on the Wii. Cadence of Hyrule, loved this game. I definitely wanted to have it physical as soon as they announced it to kind of add to my Zelda collection. Just a great rhythm game take on like the top-down Zelda formula. Really, really cool, actually. If you're not into rhythm games, I don't know if it's really going to do much for you, but since I love rhythm games, I love Zelda. It was a no-brainer for me. So it was just a really joyous experience. One of those games I think starts out way too hard and then gets way too easy at the end. It's got that kind of problem, but other than that, it's terrific. Music in this game is just it's so good. It's awesome. Which you'd hope that the music's good, obviously being a rhythm game. Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury, another Wii U game. 3D World's one of my favorite 3D Mario games. Loved it. I loved it on Wii U. Played it again on Switch here, and I love it just as much as I did. A good improvement over the 3DS game, actually, 3D Land. And it's definitely one of the best multiplayer Mario games. Unlike the new Super Mario Brothers games, which are just a complete clusterfuck when you play multiplayer, this one's actually extremely enjoyable multiplayer. It's a great game. Bowser's Fury, though, that's what makes this an amazing package, especially if you haven't played 3D World. But even if you have, I think this is worth picking up because Bowser's Fury is fucking amazing. One of the best games I've played this year. It's short, but it's a cool new direction for the Mario series that is very unique, and it's just super over the top. A lot of the boss fights in it I think are amazing. The final boss in particular is just, man, the spectacle, like, it's so good. Just some great exploration to it, and it doesn't overstay its welcome either. Really, really surprised by Bowser's Fury. I think it's honestly, when you combine it with 3D World, like, this is just absolutely a must play on the Switch for me. Okay, so we got Ori and the Blind Forest, Ori 2. I have played the first one on, I played on PC. Loved it. Loved the original Ori. I think it's fantastic. Metroidvania platformer. Still have not played this. One of these days I gotta crack this open. They're both sealed and play this because I've heard the Switch version's actually really good. Because I tried it on my PC and I had to refund it on Steam. It actually didn't run well at all. My PC is just unfortunately just too old these days. But yeah, I'm sure I'll enjoy this second one because the first game was really good. Really, really enjoyed it. We got Limited Run Turok and Turok 2. Man, I own these games. At least Turok 2 I own like 3 times now on Steam, on Switch, and PS4. Turok 1 I've never really been able to get into. Even as a kid, I didn't like it that much. Turok 2 is one of my favorite first-person shooters of all time, and it's held up extremely well when you actually have like a 60 FPS frame rate and good controls, and you're not using an X64 controller. You're actually able to actually play the game and see the level design shine. Just really terrific level design and great gore effects in Turok 2. I've played it twice very recently. Once on Steam a few years ago, and again on PS4 like a few months ago. And it's just, man, it's held up so well. I'm not a big first-person shooter fan, but Turok 2 is amazing. So I definitely wanted to have the physical copy here on Switch. Don't worry, you're almost at the end here. 2 more games left. Let's go with this one first. We've got Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. This is this Dreamers edition. Once it got the game and an art book, and I guess this little cardboard box, I suppose. I enjoyed this. Link's Awakening, it's weird. You know what? I actually think the original Link's Awakening is better than this, which is gonna come as a surprise. I don't think a lot of people would agree with me, but I don't know. The frame rate in this was just really, I don't know, man. It's kind of sluggish at times, and it just, I don't know, the sense of speed just was not there for me that the original actually kind of has. But my main thing with this is I don't think a lot of the improvements they've made are actually all that great. One of the big things with this game was like the chamber dungeons, and they're fucking terrible. And they lock like heart pieces behind it. So I was really looking forward to 100%ing this game. And then I found out that you had to do the chamber dungeons to get the heart pieces, and I was like, all right, I'm not doing that. Fuck that. It's just tedious and goes on forever. I don't think it adds like anything to the game really. But other than that, I think the core design of the game is still strong because it's still Link's Awakening. But you know what? I'd rather play the original DX on the Game Boy Color, like Game Boy Color version over this. Because I do like the way this game looks. I just don't think it's really worth it when the frame rate is just not ideal. So yeah, I enjoyed it, but I was a little disappointed by it. I honestly don't think it's a totally successful remake, really. And then finally, of course, we've got to end with Breath of the Wild. Most people would probably still say this is like the best game on the Switch, or one of the best. I have a lot of thoughts on this game. You know, I won't get too in depth, but I will say I did love this game. It's fantastic. I mean, it really, I really do like the fact that they just kind of leave it to the player to kind of explore this world with like little hand holding, and it's got that sense of adventure that's I think that the original Legend of Zelda really had. But at the same time, there's definitely a lot of things that I think are not great in this game that there's definitely room for improvement, and that's why I'm hoping that with the sequel, Nintendo doesn't just rest on their laurels and think that this game like is this masterpiece, that because all the reviewers gave this game 10 out of 10, masterpiece, best game ever, that there's nothing to be fixed, and it's just the next game just is Breath of the Wild, but more. I really hope that's not the route they take, because the dungeons in this game, they're trash. The divine beasts, they're terrible. Just really lackluster puzzles. All the shrines in this game, maybe like 25% of them I would say are actually like well-designed shrines with nice puzzles. The rest of them just feel like filler to me. And it's just, yeah, the bosses, you're basically just hacking and slashing away with little strategy or thought to them. There's things about this game I don't like, but ultimately they're not enough because the rest of the game is just so good. But yeah, room for improvement. I really hope that Nintendo takes some, I don't know, lessons and looks at some of the things that people maybe thought that weren't great about this game. But I don't know, it's one of those weird things with me where it's like it's got all these amazing reviews, 10 out of 10, but like no one, a lot of people didn't like mention like how bad the dungeons are compared to previous entries in the series, or how like most of the shrines are not that great. But anyways, I'm being a little too hard on it. Breath of the Wild is a fantastic game. It's definitely a nice improvement over Skyward Sword for sure. But anyways, that's it, guys. That's my Switch collection. A lot bigger than I thought it was, actually. Considering I've never really thought of myself as a huge Switch fan, but you know what? Looking at all these games and all the positive opinions I've had on the games here, maybe I am. Maybe I do like the Switch quite a bit. But what do you guys think of the Switch? What are your guys' collections like? What games do you guys got? What games you're looking for? What games you're looking forward to? Metroid Dread is the big one for me coming up. Can't wait. Another side-scrolling Metroid. Give it to me. Give it to me now. But anyways, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.